There we go. Look at us.
Oh, look at that.
Look at with our arms.
You can barely see us. You can kind of
don't even know we're here.
Right here by the edge. You can kind of see it a little bit, like right here.
Oh! Hup!
Little fingies right
Hup!
there.
Hup! Hup!
Oh!
Am I doing a good job hype manning our song?
I think so. I think you're hyping it pretty well. Ow! Ow!
Hup!
Ow! Ow! Ow!
I'm adding,
that's good.
Oh, wait.
Wow! There it is.
Stop it in time.
There it is.
What is... Hey! Here we are. A new era.
How fancy was that?
Eddie, the tip of 40 ounce to the pencils down era? It's gone. This is a new era.
That is
a
sad.
New Ramble,
no more pencils down.
Era.
No more Ramble
Here
overtimes. No more pencils
Ramble
down.
OT. It's just a new dawn, a new day. We want to thank you all for joining. This is a Ramble podcast, a geek's guide to pop culture. We would be the geeks. I would be comedian, cancer fighter, Jerry Rocha. Still use floaties in the swimming pool, Jerry Rocha. Right over here, we have the one and only
Eddie Pence, comedian, podcaster,
lover.
Lover. Microwaver of food.
Oh man, that's the one. First of all, how many people in 9 months? How many children are there going to be because of that theme song?
Oh my God!
You know what I mean?
There was a big. I don't know what the numbers were for the boomers that came after 9/11.
Yeah.
The 9/11 babies.
Yeah.
But I would say it's going to be comparable to
bigger.
what that was.
Probably bigger.
Probably bigger. Probably bigger.
In this podcast, we're going to talk about all the things that we love about in pop culture. We'll sometimes complain about things. On today's episode, Eddie, this is Ramble. I believe it's 413. Is that what your notes have?
413. 413.
Is that where we're at? We are 413. So that's very exciting. Here at Ramble. For today's Ramble, we are going to geek out. I beat an old Nintendo game. We'll start there. We'll just tease. Well, we'll talk about
just tease
it.
it. Tease it so they keep listening.
We're teasing this. Yeah, come on. Anything you're geeking out on today?
What am I geeking out on?
Yeah, if any, you don't have to.
No. Well, there was a new. People that know that we love action figures. HasCon happened a couple days ago.
Oh God!
And we did some pre-orders, and there's a couple coming out.
Do you have some images?
That I'm especially geeked about.
Do you have some images to share?
Yes, I'll pull them up.
We're going to do our segment called The Devil's Advocate, where we defend something that universally derided, universally hated on. That we're going to try. We don't agree that it shouldn't be hated on, but we're just going to do our best to try to defend it. That we could say that was when Ricky the Dragon Steamboat came back to the WWE as just the dragon.
Dressed as a dragon.
That stupid ass dragon.
And had to learn to blow fire.
The steel cage has been lowered. Speaking of wrestling, Eddie.
Yes.
Grover versus Gonzo. A long time coming. A match that needed to happen. And here it is, Grover versus Gonzo. You've always wondered who would win that battle. We're going to settle for you today on the Ramble. And then we're going to do our segment, IMDb. We're going to close it out where we cast a movie based on something, a property we loved or love. And we're going to cast it the worst way possible. Today, we're going to try to do our job casting the gem. We're going to make a new gem in the Holograms movie. I hope you like what I have, Eddie.
Okay, I hope you like what I have in mind. Yeah,
we share and compare, and then we usually pick which is the worst choice to move forward. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, God, do we love you. If you're new and deciding you'd like to return, God, do we love you. Here we are. You can email us. I don't know if anybody knows that. Ramble@theramblepod.com. We're on Twitter at PodcastRamble1. Instagram at PodcastRamble. We're on YouTube, The Ramble Tube, where you can see our gorgeous faces on YouTube.
Right.
We have merch, our TeePublic page. Check it out. And subscribe to The Ramble. 5-star rating, positive text review. Eddie and I have it on good authority that doing those things, all those things, will in fact make either your vagina larger or your vagina.
Penis wetter. Penis
your
wetter
penis
or
wetter,
your
vagina larger. There.
That's the way we like it.
Hell yes. So, welcome to The Ramble. Sadly, alt-right Cody is not with us.
Very
but
sad.
it looks like he might have closed on a house in his real life. So congrats to him.
Congratulations.
So maybe he'll be joining us sooner
Alt-right
than
Cody.
we thought for alt-right Cody.
Okay.
Yeah, but man, alt-right Cody probably not having the best day after that lump of shit from the National Review was on Megyn Kelly's podcast.
Drop
And
the
can
N-word.
Can we call it the M word now, I guess, when he confused. I'm just surprised Megyn Kelly wasn't like, no, slow down, finish it, say it
It's
again.
okay.
Yeah.
Please. It'll make me come.
Yeah, I'd love it. But here we are, man. We hope you all have had a great fucking week so far. I'm going to be in El Paso this Thursday through Sunday. If you live in the El Paso, Texas area,
Get there.
Headlining the comic strip in El Paso. So I'll be doing my new hour all about my fight with stage 4 cancer called Cancer Culture. Love to see you. Come on down. Now it's time for the Geek Out. One day we're going to have music for every one of these things.
Yeah.
One day. Someday we're going to have music for every single day. This is the
It's a
Geek
work
Out.
in progress.
It's a work in progress. I did something. Oh, let me. Since you're going to have visual aids for yours, I should probably do the same, right?
Sure. Bring out the visuals. The
I did something I thought impossible for me personally, but it was this afternoon. Eddie.
Yeah.
It was this afternoon. I'm actually going to play it tonight on my Retro Rocha stream. Kick and Twitch at Retro Rocha. Just my name on YouTube. It won't be tonight because this isn't live. So we've moved on. And I think I'm going to call it. I'm going to Babe Ruth this. I will have accomplished it tonight on my stream. What I did earlier today. I beat this game right here, Friday the 13th for the Nintendo Entertainment System. The original. I thought this game was one of those I'm never going to beat. Every time I played it, it was so confusing and weird and shitty, and I thought this.
I never enjoyed it.
Game.
I played it. I had it. I never liked it.
I never had it. I hated it when I played it, and I'm like, what is this shit? It's just a confusing, jumbled, random mess. And then I tried it on my Twitch stream, on my Kick stream, on my YouTube stream on Friday the 13th this past week.
Sure.
What a better time, right?
Right. That's
and I was time. Like, and I tried again, like maybe I had it wrong whenever I first played it way back when.
Right.
And I was like, Eddie, I played that game for 45 minutes. I wandered. I couldn't find Jason one fucking time. I never even saw him. I just wandered for 45 minutes. Like, what the fuck is this thing? And then the next time I played it, he killed me in 2 seconds right off the bat. I'm like, what is happening? What is it's a lump of shit. And it was LGN was the ones who published it. Who that is like the kiss of death for NES games. That logo right there.
I hated that fucking logo so much. Every time I think WrestleMania was made by them.
You know what else was?
What?
Maybe the worst. One of the worst. I have it just as a curiosity. Because you can buy it for like $4. Like usually people will pay you for taking it off their hands. Yeah. The X-Men game.
Yeah.
This thing.
That rainbow logo was the kiss of death for any video game.
How excited were you for this game? How excited were you for this game? And then you play it and you're like, I honestly think anyway, it was, and then you.
That was a problem with that game. They had such great properties on their video games, and they just never delivered.
They blew it. They
every
fucking
time.
blew it. They
every time.
They had Nightmare on Elm Street. That one fucking sucked. And so, dude, Eddie, I gave up. I'm like, this game makes no sense. It makes no fucking sense. I walked away from it after that stream, and something was nagging at me, and I wanted proof that this was one of the shittiest games ever made. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I wanted validation.
You wanted, sure. It wasn't just you. Right.
Yes. And I'm looking, and there's all these, it's the dumbest fucking game. It's fucking terrible. I'm like, yes, okay. And then I see one little blurb going, it's really pretty good. And I'm like, no, it's not. No, there's no way. And can I say this? It might be top 30 all-time Nintendo games for me now.
How? What'd you do? What happened? Why?
I looked up. I was just like, because I saw that. And I'm like, well, is this guy just being a contrarian just to be a
Right.
contrarian? Because, boy,
Right.
do we have that in the fucking nerd world,
Oh,
right?
in spades, my friend, in spades.
I mean, there was like at least 30 people who weren't bots who really wanted to see the what's his face's cut of Justice League, the Snyder cut.
Right.
There was at least 30 people who weren't
Maybe
bots.
30. Maybe 30.
Who really
That's being generous.
Right. So it's very the contrarians, and so I thought this guy's just being a contrarian. And then and it was stewing up. I was like Joe Pesci in Goodfellas when Spider tells him to go fuck himself, and De Niro was like, "Are you gonna take that?" He's just sitting there staring. It's like.
So what'd you look up?
I just Googled, is the Friday the 13th NES game any good?
Okay.
And a million, it's awful. And then there was like 4 YouTube videos defending Jason. It's actually really good. And I watched them. And I'm like, because this game is just a shitty, random fucking mess.
Right.
And then I watched the videos, and we were all wrong. There is a science to it. There is a pattern. There is a method. And if you follow it, you can beat him. And it's fucking awesome when you... Eddie, can I explain what happens in this fucking game? So, if you remember, you start with 6 counselors. 6 camp counselors. 3 dudes, 3 women, right?
Yes.
And Mark was the only dude worth the shit because he could
Right.
like fucking... I could out-dunk Jordan, right? Like that little dopey. And then Chrissy was the only girl worth the shit because she could do the same. And they could row the boats faster, all that kind of shit. And you have 15 school children or children in the cabins, and then there's several scattered cabins around the lake. There's 2 maps, right? There's 2 ovals. So there's one map, and it's Camp Crystal Lake, and the lake is in the center, and then there's an oval surrounding the lake, and then there's a northern woods and the southern woods, and then there's an oval track surrounding that with scattered cabins. And the counselors are scattered throughout all those, the random cabins in there. Eddie, I knew none of this fucking existed. I knew nothing about any of this. And then the children are all, they're 15 of them, and they're 5, 5, and 5, just spread out in these 3 cabins right on the lake.
Right.
Jason starts on a path. There's 3 different paths that Jason can begin with. And he usually goes to a camp counselor first. And that's your tip-off. When you see what camp, what cabin he's attacking, then you know the path he's on. And so what you have to do, and now the easy way is Mark. Apparently, if you play it as Mark and you know what you're doing, you can beat Jason in 5 minutes. It's crazy. And then I saw it happen. And I'm like, nah, Eddie, do we do things the easy way here on the Ramble podcast?
No.
Man, we do things the hard way. So I said, well, they said because I was watching this, there's 2 ways. The easy, hard. The hard way is Chrissy, but it's far more rewarding. And I'm like, let me do that. Okay. If I'm, this game has already broken my balls so horrific.
Right.
If I'm, let's just go in the hard. Fuck it. And so I pick Chrissy. And what you're supposed to do is you go in and out of a random, the first cabin you start in, you go in and out immediately. Go in, go back out. Then you go find the cabin that's in the first oval, the inner oval that's north of the lake. Okay? North of Camp Crystal, north of the lake. You go in you go in and out of one cabin. You go to that cabin. You have to kill 3 of those generic zombie creatures that always attack you. And then because you start off with a shitty rock as a weapon.
Right.
Once you kill 3 of those zombies, a lighter appears. And there's a message saying, right at the beginning of the game, light all the fireplaces. And so you get a lighter. And then after you get the lighter, you just start jumping. Your character jumps, and different weapons and power-ups appear. And the power-ups are just these little bottles of health. And they're like the fairy in Legend of Zelda. When Jason kills you, if you have one of those, you come back with a little bit of life. And so, dude, they will save your skin so many times. You want to collect as many as you can. So in the early part of the game, you sort of you just jump. You're like prancercising throughout the whole fucking camp. And then you make it to that northern oval, in the inner oval, the northern it's the large cabin, the northern large cabin above the lake. And you find a message in there saying, go to the woods. You can only get that message if you have the knife. And you can ignore lighting the fireplaces. All that does is give you a flashlight. But the flashlight is important if it's your first time doing it. So if you have to go to every single, there's like 6 big cabins, and you have to go use the lighter and light all the fireplaces. Once you've done that, you then go into the woods. Now, I learned where to go, so I ignored the fireplace part. You don't have to do it.
Right.
I go up into the woods. Eddie, you find a cabin in the woods, and there's a pattern. I won't go into the detail, but like there's a pattern you have to follow to get to the right cabin. And when you get to that cabin in the woods, you have to find a key, and the key will always appear when you're on your way there. And you get the key, you open the cabin door, and there's a note. If you've done everything properly, you see a note that says, "Fire hurts Jason the most." And then you exit. And this time when you exit the cabin, it wasn't there before, there's a fucking axe waiting for you. And you get the axe. And now the axe is just one hit killing all the zombies. It's fucking amazing. And you make a beeline. So in the upper left outer oval, right, there's a cave and some cabins surrounding it. You go into the cave once you get the axe, if you're Chrissy, the woman. And Eddie, inside, right when you go to the cave, if you have the flashlight, you go left. Because everything in the cave is illuminated, so you see what's there. When you go in without the flashlight, you can't see anything. It's just kind of dark. But when you go in with the flashlight, everything's illuminated, and you go to the left, and you see an entrance in the cave. You go in, there's a fucking door. You open the door, Pamela Voorhees is waiting for you. And she is a fucking freaky-ass severed head that, like, floats around the screen attacking you. And you fucking kill her. It's awesome. And when you kill her, she leaves a torch. And you get the torch. And then the game becomes incredible. After that, now the whole purpose of the game is you fucking hunt Jason down. You're like, you gotta go. You go hunt him down. Now you want it. Now you want to hope because it's a game over if Jason kills you or if he kills all the children. So out of 15, he can kill the first 10, and as long as there's 3 left. Fuck it's like fucking Kirk. Let them die. You know, like, and counselors and kids, fuck them. Let them kill them. But what you do is you see where he is after you get the torch, because he'll either be attacking the kids or he'll be attacking. And it's day 1 technically, and so this is like, okay, not too bad. Like, this is day 1, so there's going to be a lot of blood on day 1. He's going to kill, but at least you see where he's going. And then you chase his ass down. You don't want to enter a cabin if he's in the cabin, because then he's like fucking Tyson from Punch-Out. You don't want to fight him there. But when he exits the cabin, if you know the path he's going to take, you just get there before he gets there. And 9 times out of 10, he shows up on the side-scrolling screen, and he's still really hard, but he's so much easier to deal with. And you just start launching torches at him, okay? And then he usually runs off, and then you go find him again. You launch torches, and then you do it about 3 or 4 times, and then it says, Jason is down for now, but he'll be back stronger than ever. And then the next day begins. Your health is fully replenished. The first thing you do is your Chrissy. Eddie, I can't believe how cool this is. You go back to the mother's cave, and Pamela is waiting. She's harder now, but you kill her a second time. She drops the sweater. Only a woman character can equip it. You equip the sweater, and then you go find Jason, and his attacks they do a third of the damage they did before. Okay. And then you beat him a second time, and then it's like, all right, Jason's. So you have to do this 3 times, and then in the third day, you then go back to Pamela's cave, start off with the torch. She's even harder the third time. You kill her a third time, and it's kind of a lie. They say the torch is the strongest weapon. It's not true. She leaves behind a pitchfork. And when you get the pitchfork, it does as much damage as a torch, but the torch is kind of a slow weapon. Dude, the pitchfork is, you could shoot 40, and then on the third day, you just chase Jason down, and you kill him with the pitchfork, and I did it. And as long as he doesn't kill, and I'm telling you, this game, I'm going to make a YouTube video about it. I really am. I love this game now. Eddie, I hated this game.
Because I hated that game.
Same. I thought it was
I played it twice, and I never touched it again.
Right. Do you think you still have it? It's on the thing.
I still have it. I still have it in my garage with the rest of my Nintendo games. I hated that game. I bought it, excited for it, and I hated it.
Do you happen to have, it might be on that NES, Super Nintendo I gave you, but Remember that thing?
It might be, but yeah.
Do you have an old television that you could play?
I don't. I don't have a tube.
Then I think you need to just try it on that, and I'll send you the video. Look what I did. Look what I fucking did. I took this and this is like fucking.
You took notes.
I was like, it's like, fuck, and fucking amazing. It was such a. I yelled. Andrea ran in because she hated that game too, but she wanted to love it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm beating him. Like, she runs it. It was fucking awesome. Like, it happened. It is the most it's the Gremlins 2 of video game. It's the most misunderstood, maligned for all the wrong reasons.
I'm trying to think if it came with like a map in the box or something to explain.
I think they fucked us with the booklet because I never owned it. But there's so many things in it where it's like, how is none of this in the manual?
I don't remember the booklet.
Right. And Eddie, I'm telling you, it's worth it. Especially spooky season is here. What better thing to do than try to beat Friday the 13th for the end? It can be done. It's awesome. It's fucking awesome. Damn. So that's my geek out for the day. Sorry that took so fucking long.
No, that was a good geek out. Mine's not going to be nearly that long.
But it's going to be just as good. I'll tell you that because I think I know where we're going here.
For the people that are action figure collectors like Jerry and I, Hasbro Pulse did their HasCon a few days ago.
Yes.
I think it was Friday night? Thursday or Friday? I forgot what it was. Where they have their special exclusive drops only on HasCon. And
if they had that live like in Taiwan, would we fly over to see it?
Yeah, we'd go. We'd sell kidneys and go. We'd do what we have to do to get there. Because they just had some exclusives at Comic-Con, which they were good. They were good. You had Darth Maul and the Sith Speeder.
The Cobra Commander was incredible.
Cobra Commander was incredible. You had Death's Head. You had some good.
Death's Head looked great.
Exclusive.
For such an unknown character, they really made him. They made that Death's Head figure fucking awesome.
But I got into the Hasbro collecting through Star Wars Black Series, and I try to get every Star Wars Black Series that comes out. It's what I'm just obsessed with it, more so than Marvel Legends or even the G.I. Joe stuff.
Do you mind if I interject and let the listeners know just how deep you're into this? Because I don't think every time I go to any toy store, any swap meet, anything, I will always find what looks like the most obscure Star Wars Black figure ever, and I send a picture like, nope, got it. Like it's a phenomenon, Eddie.
Dude, I have OSHA from Acolyte. I have them all.
That's amazing. Who would even get that? But good.
Who would even want? I don't even want it, and I got it.
You have to have it.
But they dropped this one. This is one I'd been wanting them to drop forever, and they dropped it. And it's Prince Xizor. Size. Look at that. Freaking gorgeous.
That Prince Xizor is fucking amazing. Now, I know there was a Shadows of the Empire. There was a Shadows of the Empire novel first or game? What was first? Like the book
novel.
Or the N64
Well, no, they released everything. They released a novel, a video game, toys, and a soundtrack. They had a soundtrack.
Right.
They released.
This
was like 1996, 97. It was before the prequels.
What I felt bad about was Shadows of the Empire, the game. Loved it. I fucking love that game. Do you remember how excited everyone was when it looked like didn't they put the Outrider in Phantom Menace? Wasn't it docking at Coruscant in the background?
I think you can see it it's either Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clone. It's one of you can see it somewhere.
Right. It's in one of those
somewhere.
Two, right? You see the Outrider docking. Outrider, second coolest ship in all of Star Wars.
It's right behind the Falcon.
It literally is
right behind the Falcon.
Outrider's great. Now,
it's pretty dope.
Who was it? Was that Rendar? Was that Dash Rendar?
Dash Rendar.
Are we getting him? He's got to be next. If you have Xizor, he's got to be next.
I would imagine.
You can't have one without the other.
It was the greatest thing
because up to that, and not Brody.
Exactly. Up to that point, there was no Star Wars. There was rumors that Lucas was working on the prequels, but he had released the special edition Star Wars, and at the time we were like, I'm just whatever. We're getting Star Wars back in the movie theaters. We hadn't had anything since 1983. Hadn't had anything since 1983.
And then we see Greedo shoot first, Han shoot first,
or
whatever.
Darth Vader yelled no.
First.
It's
what was I'm sorry to interrupt again, but what was worse? Han shooting Greedo shooting first,
Yeah.
or Han stepping on Jabba, and Jabba going like he wouldn't have had him killed right then and there.
That's
Like he wouldn't have
the
had him
worst.
murdered right then and there. Like Jabba would. Imagine just stepping on Don Corleone in a meeting on
Right.
purpose,
Surrounded by all his thugs.
and you make come on.
He kills you instantly. Even though you owe him money, he still kills you.
Right. Anyway.
But they had released Shadows of the Empire. It was a novel, and they followed up with a video game, a toy line, and a soundtrack. Everything but a movie. You got everything that comes with a movie except the movie. And it was brilliant. I loved it.
Can I say I would not? Because didn't Shadows of the Empire take place after Return of the Jedi, technically?
No, it was between Empire and Jedi.
That's right.
Leia was looking for frozen Han Solo.
Yes, that's right.
That was her quest, and she has to go through Prince Xizor, and Dash Rendar is helping out.
We need more Rendar. I don't know why he's not. And I will say that what I really felt bad about playing the Shadows of the Empire game was that one. You go to Tatooine, don't you? Or is it desert? There's a desert world on it. I don't know.
I think you go to Tatooine. You go everywhere. I forgot where you go. It's been so long since I played it.
Do you remember the? What were the fucking abominable snowmans called again?
Oh, the Wampas?
Remember they had the desert Wampa?
Oh, yeah.
And the only thing I thought is how miserable is this fucking thing?
He's covered in hair.
Covered in hair, like a bantha.
Wouldn't evolution have removed the hair?
Wouldn't evolution, a hairless Wampa would have been, instead, imagine the nut stink on that thing.
Dude.
Imagine the ball stink on that.
He could never catch anything because everything would smell it coming a mile away.
How does he sneak up on anything?
How does he survive?
How does he survive? Fuck, don't you fight IG-88 in that too?
I believe so.
God.
I believe you fight a couple of the bounty hunters.
Dude, Shadows of the Empire was fucking great.
It was great. Soundtrack, toys, movie, and now the Black Series is finally.
I have the book in my garage. The original book is in my garage right now as we speak. The game. I still have the N64 box for it. It's in my garage. I loved Shadows.
And the best part is
God, look at him.
He hooks up with Leia in the book.
He fucks Leia, doesn't he?
He didn't fuck her. He kisses her.
That's right.
Because he puts off pheromones that attract any woman.
That's right.
So women are. That's right. They have no control around him.
Now I don't remember, was Xizor force sensitive or not? That's what I forgot.
No.
I don't believe it still made him a much more interesting villain. I love that he was a bad guy who could hold his own without.
Because you don't get, I don't remember. It's from what I can recall, you don't get much Luke in Shadows of the Empire. It is basically Leia. From what I can remember, it's been a minute since I read it. It's Leia looking for Han.
And
Leia and Chewie looking for Han.
Even in the game, I don't remember Leia being much in the game. I think the game.
You have
was
Leia,
Dash Rendar shit.
Leia, Lando, Chewbacca, and Dash Rendar, I believe, are the main. It's mostly Leia and Dash Rendar. I think because Leia hires Dash Rendar to help her find Han. If I can remember correctly.
Fuck, that game was awesome. Why can't
we're
we
getting Prince Xizor, and then I'm just like,
are we gonna do another geek out just for him?
I might do it for the unboxing because it's just
I've never been looking more forward to a Star Wars Black Series figure in my life.
Do you remember how quick I texted you when that came out? I was like, Eddie!
Dude, it might be my favorite Black Series figure.
He might be one of the all-time. He is Xizor's top 5 Star Wars villain.
Yeah.
For me.
He's up there with Thrawn.
Yes.
Him and Thrawn.
It's Vader, Emperor, Thrawn, Xizor. That's how I go. I mean, shit. Like, god damn. There we go. Look at us. Now, now this is... This is where we earn the paycheck, Eddie. This is where we earn the paycheck. The Devil's Advocate. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat coming back to the WWE. A legend, living legend. I mean, doesn't he kind of get forgotten now in all the revisions?
I believe he does. I believe this.
I'm not saying Brett wasn't the best. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, and I'm happy that Brett is getting the due, but can we give Ricky a little also?
Ricky deserves a little his moment. I know he got sort of his, because he was in WWF for a while, and he had the classic match with Macho Man. The Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 3. And
did that steal WrestleMania 3? Everything, Hogan slamming Andre. It didn't matter.
Stole it.
As a kid, it was Hogan slamming Andre.
Because Hogan Andre is a terrible match if you watch it.
If you watch it, it's awful. It's just here, let's hurry up and have him body slam the guy.
Right.
It's a great moment. It's an all-time moment, but a terrible match.
But Macho Man Dragon is an all-time match. All-time match.
That is, you had the two of the best ever right there.
And then soon after that, like a couple years later, he goes back to NWA, WCW, and he goes on a little title run and has a great feud with Ric Flair where they're exchanging world titles like 2 or 3 times.
Did he ever feud with Sting, or did they just keep them faces? Right?
I think they kept both of them faces at the time. It was Dragon had a huge feud with Flair.
But how great would it have been just to have him and Sting go at it one time?
Dude.
How but anyway.
It'd be amazing.
It's so
then he does this feud with Flair for up until like I think 88 or 89, and then he has this classic 3-match thing with Flair where they exchange the title and they finally have their final match. It was called the Final Countdown. That's right. And that's where Flair in a 60-minute Iron Man match, or it went 60 minutes. I don't know if it was an Iron Man match or not, but he finally beats the Dragon after a 60-minute match. It's incredible.
So awesome.
So awesome. And then the Dragon, they shake hands or whatever. And this is Flair's face turn because Terry Funk then turns on Flair, and starts beating the crap out of him, which makes Flair a face now in WCW, which is crazy. And then after that, the Dragon slowly goes away and pops back up in WWF in like 1991 as the Dragon. Not Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the Dragon.
And he had a horrible outfit.
He had a dragon outfit. Looked like Pip the Dragon.
Yes. And can I say this? I'm going to say before we try to defend it.
Yeah.
Given the stakes, and I mean this not saying that Taylor wasn't a great wrestler where he came from, because Terry Taylor was great. But given this, given everything Dragon had accomplished already in the WWE, given everything he'd accomplished in WCW, I think making him that right there was a bigger slap in the face than Terry Taylor's the Red Rooster. Is that
might have been?
Because now, what the fuck is that? That's so,
the only thing Terry Taylor has on it is
he actually had to bob his head on his way to the ring. He had to
way
bob his head.
To spit fire than do any of that.
So, but that's what they made him dress like.
And it's such a great name, Ricky the Dragon. You don't need to make him an actual fucking
Ricky
dragon.
the Dragon Steamboat.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Yes, he needs to come out with fucking shears. He needs that. Brutus
Look
the Barber.
You can see the pain in his eyes.
It's just what have I done? Fuck.
Why are they making me do this?
God. I was already here before. This is
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That's Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
The one and only. There it is. That's it.
Your Bruce Lee ripoff. That's what he was.
Even better. But yeah, again, Brutus the Barber, Eddie, you kind of have to bring him out as a barber.
Right.
Don't you?
But
you don't need to do this. You don't need to do this to the Dragon. The Brooklyn Brawler has to come out dressed like a cab driver. He's got to have Yankees
gear on. Right.
We understand this.
The Undertaker has to be dressed like an Undertaker.
Be dressed like he just performed a funeral.
The big boss man needs to be dressed like a racist sheriff.
You don't need to do this. But can I tell you here's my 2 ways to defend it.
Okay.
One, we can look at it for how awful it is, but we can also understand Fleetwood Mac creating rumors when everyone in the band was hating each other. Buckingham and Nix were breaking up. McVie and the 2 McVies were divorcing, and they still. This was a pro being a pro. That's the only way. Dude, did you know that it took him 2 weeks to learn how to breathe fire? That's it. 2 fucking weeks.
Pro, man.
Pro.
And he went out and blew that fire. Fire.
And so I'm just going to say it was a pro.
Didn't burn one little kid in the front row.
Right. Now, nope. So that's for 2 weeks in, I'd be like, uh-oh, what the fuck? But he did it. And I'm going to defend it, and I'll do one more thing. Because this happened 2 or 3 years before. So did this influence the look of the spitter dinosaur in Jurassic Park? Could that have been
Dilophosaurus, I believe.
I think, could that have been Spielberg's
Was Spielberg
nod?
watching wrestling going, you know what?
Was that Spielberg's nod to Ricky Steamboat? Ricky the Dragon?
Was that his little nod?
Makes you wonder. Do you have a similar defense?
Pro is
defense.
A pro is only as much of a pro as the gimmick he can sell. And he sold the gimmick.
And he sold it, man. I mean, like Dusty Rhodes sold the polka dot shit. He made it work. He made it fucking work.
Yeah.
And it's. I mean, what if they made Jake the Snake come back and just crawl on the ground,
slither to the ring?
Took him 30 minutes.
But you made Ricky the Dragon a legend at the time. Dress up like he was going to a kid's birthday party.
Right.
As he came to the ring, and he still sold it.
He still sold it. So I think are we both saying it was the way we defended it? It's a pro being a pro.
It's a pro being a pro. You're giving a shit hand, much like Terry Taylor and the Red Rooster gimmick, and you made it work.
Looking back, should they have had Jake Roberts like eat a mouse after every?
And just unhook his jaw and put a fucking dog in his face.
That's flawless.
Do it. McMahon's like, do it.
I want you to eat the fattest kid in the front row.
Back and bring him in the ring. Unhook your jaw and eat him.
Eat the fattest kid in the front. Just like,
why I don't want to.
And they make Snake just do this. Like he has to do that. How awful!
Snake, damn it!
You would have ruined one of the greatest work Snake, and then they did. But he made it work.
He sold that shit gimmick.
Pro right there. Now Eddie, the steel cage has been lowered. Grover. The God, dare I say the ripoff of Gonzo?
I think so. Gonzo came first before Grover. Grover was Sesame Street. Gonzo was more Muppet Show. Muppets. And so Kermit kind of moonlighted on both.
Everybody loved Kermit.
Kermit was on both sides. He was on Sesame Street and Muppet Show. He was everywhere.
Both sides so well. Can I give you my? And then do you have an outline for this, or do you want me to book it and you interject?
You can book, and I'll see if I have any ideas for it.
So I think we begin. It's a good one. It's a real good one. I mean, haymaker after haymaker. They're eating haymaker after haymaker, right?
Can I just say the entrance? I think Gonzo should shoot himself out of a cannon into the ring. I think that should be his entrance. Okay,
absolutely.
That's how he gets to
the
ring.
Gonzo
shoots himself out of a cannon.
He kind of injures himself already. So Grover has a slight advantage.
He's got the upper hand early in the match because Grover hurt himself.
I think Grover's a little soft. I'm not going to be mean. I think Grover's a little soft. So Gonzo kind of starts rebounding after hurting himself from the cannon shot, and he starts taking control of the match. And then all of a sudden, sunny day, taking my, and everybody turns to look. And then Big Bird just comes rushing into the ring.
Oh, Big Bird.
And here's what I think. I mean, just clotheslines Gonzo, puts him in
bending his nose upward. Bends his nose upward.
Bends his nose upward, puts him in the Boston Crab.
Pulls his legs. He keeps pulling his legs out.
Pulls his legs out, and then spits. And then Grover kind of goes a little heel turn, starts spitting on Gonzo. Because it's a no DQ match. We forgot to say.
Right. Sure.
He starts spitting on Gonzo. The ref is just watching it happen, but Gonzo's not giving up yet, right? Gonzo is not giving up yet. But then all of a sudden, you just hear the explosions go off, and out runs Dr. Teeth and the entire band. Ooh. I mean, they're just they're charging. And Big Bird's able to he drops Gonzo and starts, and he's able to hold his own for a little bit. But you and I both know Animal's too much. He's too much to overcome.
Animal's too much.
But we also know that Animal's a bit much, right?
Right.
And so he starts chair shotting Big Bird.
Of course. Yeah.
That Bird is just limp, like he's unmoving.
Bird could be dead. We don't know. He's laying on.
And then Animal pushes Big Bird out of the ring. And then kind of forgets what he's supposed to do. And then...
Is Kermit the ref in this? Is Kermit the ref since he plays both?
Straight ref.
Straight
well,
ref.
it kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, Kermit's both sides.
But here's what I was thinking though. So maybe we can decide on this or not. You tell me, right? Let's pretend right now it's just an impartial ref, just a rando ref. So I think Animal just kind of forgets what he's supposed to do, and just drags Big Bird's unconscious body back in the back. Right.
Probably to eat him. We don't know.
We have no idea what's going to happen.
Now, I think
Animal's
at this
very
point,
much like the missing link. And then
I think at this point, Gonzo is now reeling his legs back in. He's pulling his legs back in.
And then it gets ugly because out come Bert and Ernie. Bert and Ernie charge the ring, and right when Gonzo gets himself back together, he puts his nose back, his legs are back.
Right.
Bert and Ernie they do the double axe handle demolition style, and then Spike pile drive, right?
But I think at this point, after he gets Spike pile driven, Gonzo does the whistle, and then all the chickens come out.
But Gonzo's out. After being Spike pile driven, you think he can do this?
Okay, maybe he doesn't do that. He's Spike pile driven. The chickens in the back see what's happening. The chickens come out.
I love this because I had
all
them.
All of Gonzo's chickens come out.
I had them a minute later, but this is better.
Grover sees this, panics, jumps under the ring.
Hides.
The chickens follow Grover under the ring. Outside the other ring comes out. Super Grover comes out of the other side of the ring.
Yes, I'm with you here.
So now we got Super Grover, and we never see the chickens. We assume the chickens have all been murdered by Super Grover.
Now Gonzo's at a massive disadvantage. He just lost.
He's now facing Super Grover.
He's just been spike pile driven by Bert and Ernie, right? And to add insult to injury, Super Grover does nothing. He just stands there because for payback, out comes Snuffleupagus from the back, and Oscar the Grouch. This is rough. Snuffleupagus just does the earthquake splash on Gonzo after he's
on Gonzo's lifeless body, his limp, lifeless body.
And then, Super Grover is just mugging to the crowd. Everybody's booing, right? Everybody's booing. The ref has been kind of knocked out during all this. He's finally coming to, right? And Snuffleupagus, Oscar the Grouch, Bert, Ernie, they're just pointing at the ref. Hey, count him, right? Count it. They put Super Gonzo on top of him. Super Gonzo's yawning.
Super Grover. Super Grover's bored.
He's hooked a leg for Gonzo. Super Grover does the yawn. And then you hear, why are there so many songs about rainbows? Oh. And then the real shit goes down. Kermit
comes down.
Fozzie, Rolf, and Miss Piggy. And they all storm the ring.
Is it a bigger pop if it's That's a bigger pop.
Right. There it is.
That's a bigger pop.
That's the bigger pop. That's a bigger pop.
That's a bigger pop, right?
Absolutely, that's a bigger pop. And then Rolf takes Oscar's trash can lid, and then him and Fozzie together just obliterate Oscar. I mean, he's just covered in blood. It's over. And
they separate him finally from the trash can.
Everybody's cheering. They call for it. Fozzie and Rolf look to the crowd and they do this. They do this, and
they finally separate him from the trash can.
And it kills him.
It kills him. There's just a torso. There's no. He was physically attached to the trash can.
They rip him apart. And the pop through the roof.
Oh, and then Ralph takes the trash can and just starts battering Super Grover in the head with the trash can.
And then Snuffleupagus still thinks he's got this. But then Piggy goes all karate Miss Piggy.
Oh.
And just fuck Snuffleupagus up. There is no hope for this. And then Super Grover is now reeling, right?
Right,
and then
sure.
He gets one more shot. Was it Rolf or was it Rolf who was hitting him?
Rolf has the trash can.
Rolf hits Super Grover one more. Super Gonzo one more time. Or no, Grover. Super Grover.
Super Grover.
And then Kermit picks up Gonzo, right?
Yeah.
And as Super Grover is reeling from the trash hit, Kermit grabs Super Grover, heart punch, puts Gonzo on top of him. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
There it is.
That's the match.
What do you think?
That's quite a match. Yeah.
Is it? Any notes on the end? Are you happy with this?
No, I think that's good. I think we got it.
We solved it. We did it, man.
I think the highlight is him being separated.
That's the moment of the year for Pro Wrestling Inc. Was Oscar the Grouch, Rolf
being
and Fozzy
separated. Just one pulling on one end, the other one pulling the other end. Him just screaming in pain and then just separating.
Just fucking like the elevator in The Shining, all the blood that just comes shooting out. By God, they've separated Oscar.
By God. By God. They separated Oscar from the trash can. By God. Stop it. God damn it.
Oh, fuck. And now here we are. It's time to close out the ramble with our favorite segment, IMDb. We take a beloved property from our youth or from now, and we cast it in maybe the worst way possible. Now, I know there's already been a Gem in the Holograms movie. I thought it kind of stunk, though, right?
Right. Well, we'll make it better.
We can make it stink more, don't you think?
Probably.
All right.
Now I have a lead in my head, but I mean you can go with yours. It's up to you.
For Jerica / Gem, right?
Yeah.
Can I give you mine?
Give me yours, and I'll tell you mine, and then we can see who we think.
I have Laura Trump.
Okay. I get it. I see. Yeah, I get it.
Just for the horrific singing alone.
Right.
Just start with the fucking. Just for the. So who do you have?
I was gonna go Ann Coulter.
Oh man, that would have been.
But maybe Ann Coulter, and then her alter ego when she turns into Jim is Laura Trump.
Laura Trump. This is it. Now we do but the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Ann Coulter's Jerica.
And you're like, it can't get worse than this.
And I guess Laura Trump is Jim. Oh God! Now, for Kimber, the kid sister keyboardist.
Kimber. Yeah.
I think we get acting legend Pia Zadora. That's who I have.
Like it. I like it.
Did you have a Kimber, or you just want to roll?
I didn't have one. I didn't have a Kimber. That's a good one. I like that one.
All right. For Asia Leith, the guitarist,
who
was in fact a woman of Asian descent, I believe.
Right.
I have. Just go with it, Eddie. Remember, we're trying to make this the worst movie possible. I think Paula Deen having to do a horrifically hacky racist accent.
Okay.
She's just over the top. Like, you know what I mean? That bad.
Right.
I say Paula Deen. Do you have any notes, or do you like?
No, Paula Deen's good. I like Paula Deen
as the guitarist. All right. Do you think she slips in and out? Do you think Paula Deen can carry the hacky racist accent the whole movie, or does eventually we gotta go play the show, y'all? Does she just go back to her her southern?
I think she strips into the Georgia accent, the southern accent
every now and again.
The twang, drops an N-word here and there.
Oh, and then for Shayna, the drummer, I have Candace Owens. Do you have any?
No.
I think
Candace Owens works for me.
Now, we I think to make this even better,
right?
There is no script, right? This is like we're making them Spinal Tap this, right?
Right. It's totally improvised.
They're just given. They're given a general idea of what is going to happen, and they need to just go with that.
They have some points. They have some bits. The points they have to hit.
Are you okay with it so far?
Yeah, totally.
Ann Coulter's Jerica, Laura Trump is Jem, Pia Zadora is Kimber, Paula Deen is Asia, Candace Owen is Shauna, and to have on bass Carmen Rhea Alonso.
Okay.
Michelle Tafoya. That's who I have. I have Michelle Tafoya.
I like Michelle Tafoya. That's a good one.
Can she pull it off? Is this what she's been waiting for her entire career?
Maybe.
I think so.
Maybe.
I think so. So and then again, how about this? Let's say now let's put seriousness back. Let's say you knew nothing about this. You just heard they made a Gem in the Holograms movie. You've not seen a trailer. You've not heard anything. But you walk in day one out of curiosity, and that's the cast. Do you immediately leave, or do you see what happens?
I think you see, just out of morbid curiosity, you have to see what happens, right? And
how dark and racist does it get with Paula Deen? How quick?
I think it gets so dark she gets replaced halfway through the movie with Susan Boyle from Britain's Got Talent. I think you have to pull her halfway through the movie and interject Susan Boyle.
So Dean is so bad that like Owens and Tafoya, Lar Trump and Coulter are ready to walk because Dean.
They're like, we can't be surrounded by this many N-words, especially Owens can't take the N-word that much.
We can't have it.
We can't have. So Susan Boyle is now brought in. And she's the one in this whole group that can actually sing.
But they make her the bass player or whatever.
But she made her the
drummer. She's the drummer.
Yeah, she never sings.
No, the guitarist. She's a guitarist. Yeah.
She's the one who can actually sing. And
right. Oh, Eddie, what an IMDb. My God, what a ramble. Next Ramble 414. We're gonna do our IMDb thing, but with Castlevania. We have a segment called The Darkest Hour, where we kind of highlight what we think was the worst moment for something beloved that used to be beloved in our youth, or now we're gonna do the character of the Punisher. And guess what? Steel Cage is being lowered again, Eddie. If you can imagine.
For who?
Gargamel from the Smurfs. Venger from the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon show.
Good one.
There it is. So we want to thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to the Ramble. 5-star rating. Positive. Text review. You know where to find us. You know where to love us. Until next time, we love you all. But stick around for the song because we're going to bump this now. We're going to bump this. Take care. We love you all. Bye. Bye. Is that logo ready?
There it is. Look at that logo.
Beautiful. God.
If you got a clam, smack it. That's what I'm saying.
Right?
If you got a clam, smack it.
How much hemp Vita money have we made from just this right now?
Dude. More than some people make in a lifetime.
Right.
More than some people make in a lifetime.
Oh. I
can see you right there. I see you.
Wait. Hey.
There you are. Outside. There you are. Look at that. Huh?
Well, is this the time to spill the beans that a new Ramble logo is incoming?
It's in the works.
And it will cover the whole screen next time.
That's the plan. We're going to try to cover the whole screen with the new Ramble logo.
That's what we're trying to do. But all right. Love you guys.
Bye.